Hey guys, what's good? It's your boy Oreo and I'm back with another video and I'm very excited to make this because we are officially 7 years strong on this YouTube channel. That's right. This channel has been alive for 7 years as of today that you guys are seeing this on December 14th, 2021. However, I'm recording this in November still because as you can see by my empty room behind me, remember how there was a lot of stuff back there? Well, it's not anymore because I'm getting ready to move in a couple days. So, literally, the last thing I gotta pack up is my setup, but I gotta make this video first. And then after that, I'm breaking this down and then this will be uploaded on the 14th. I already uploaded a video on the 3rd. Pretty much, it was a compilation video of my funniest moments gaming. And if you didn't see that yet, I advise you go watch it. It was literally the last video. And then I do got one more video coming out on the 21st, so 7 days from now. And that's going to be one more compilation video, which is going to be a final TikTok compilation video. Well, not the final one, but another TikTok compilation video because I've been on that app constantly just making and creating when I'm not here. Just because those are very easy to make. I know I've been pretty much busy with personal stuff, and I always have the urge to want to create something, and I feel like TikTok is probably the easiest way for me to do that, even with a busy life and a busy schedule, because they're so easy to make. So I figure, why not put my creativity on there until I finally have time to make an actual video like this. But yeah, I'm very excited to be on this platform for 7 years. It's been a whirlwind, honestly, it has been. I've done so much in these past 7 years. I've met a lot of people. I've had so many opportunities to do different things. Man, I don't know what I'll be doing if I didn't make the choices that I make, in which honestly that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And I wanted to have something special for the 7 year anniversary, but I didn't really come up with anything. So what I thought was I'm going to answer the most famous question that I'm always getting asked in my Twitter DMs, which by the way I don't have a Twitter anymore. I've had that hacked a few months back, so I no longer use Twitter. But I've got this question in my Twitter DMs. I got that in my Instagram DMs. People ask me that on Snapchat. I even went on my boy Poetik Flakko's channel to talk about it on his podcast because he wanted to know what was going on. And I think I'm finally ready to talk to you guys about it. I know it's been like so long since it's happened, but I'm finally ready to talk about it, and I think that's what we're gonna do. I think I owe you guys that. So, we're going to talk about the reason why I left Philadelphia and came to Pittsburgh. But I probably titled this video something along the lines of story time of how I almost got arrested, which I know that's a little misleading and that's probably a little concerning, and I do apologize. But, I had to get you to click on the video somehow, and I know, it's supposed to be clickbait. Technically, in my case, it wasn't clickbait because technically I did almost get arrested, and we're gonna cover all of that. We're gonna cover all of that. So let me see. I've been talking for almost 4 minutes now. Let's just get into the story time. Why not? So before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know this little bit of information about me. Just so you know, I want you to know this little bit of information about me. I am terrible when it comes to getting up in the morning for any kind of reason whatsoever. School, work, whatever. I'm terrible when it comes to getting up in the morning. I've been like that ever since I was a kid. I'm still like that today, as I'm sitting here at 26, almost 27 years old. My sister always woke me up for school in the most intricate way. Like either she'll shake me awake, she'll throw water at my face, or she'll just give me one good old slap to the face, and I'll just wake up instantly, and I won't even be tired anymore. But the one time I finally actually managed to get up on my own without any help, without any assistance, without an alarm clock, any of that. I managed to get up one time by myself for school. I got up, I got dressed. I was still tired, but I was just up and I was dressed and I was ready to go. Had my breakfast in hand, had my book bag, had my board in the other. I was about ready to go out the door. Next thing I know, my sister comes out her room. Hey, Ty, you don't gotta go to school today. Your school burnt down. And I'm like, okay. And I just turned around, put my book bag down, put the board back, ate my breakfast, went back to sleep. So the deal that happened that day, 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody broke into my school. in Lansdowne, Penwood High School, Green Avenue campus. They broke into that. They broke into that school through the gym and start setting fire ablaze from the gym, and it went all the way down the hallway to my last period class, which was math. Um, and then it just sprung upward, and it just set the whole school on fire. Um, so when I woke back up, I went downstairs, I grabbed the granola bar, and I turned on the TV. And the first thing I was on was the news. And I was about to switch the channel until I see my school on fire. And I'm like, oh wait, what the fuck? So I'm looking, and I'm just like, yo, that's my school. Holy shit, my sister wasn't lying. And I only said that because honestly, I thought this was like gonna be like a way to get me to stay home, to do something for her later. I don't really know. And honestly, she doesn't really. Honestly, I keep trying to tell her she doesn't have to come up with any excuses for me to stay home from school. I hated school. You really think I felt like going? I don't know not one kid that loves school, to be honest. She didn't have to make an excuse for me to not go to school. All she got to tell me is, "Hey, don't go to school." And you really think you really think I'm gonna sit here and question why? I'm gonna say, "Oh, say less." I'm not gonna question why you don't want me to go to school. I'm just gonna go, okay, sure. So anyway, I open my social media. I see that everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about the fire. Some people are very upset that the fire happened because their stuff was in the lockers and now their stuff is ruined or burnt or whatever the case may be. And then you got some people who are very excited about the fire and thanking whoever set the fire and pretty much calling them all kinds of saints and gods and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I was also one of them, but we don't gotta talk about that. So fast forward in a couple of weeks, we ended up going over to the other high school. And I feel like I have to explain this because no one really knows this. So here we go. I'll explain this in the shortest way humanly possible. So my high school is split up into two different buildings. We got the Cypress Street campus in Yaden for ninth and 10th graders. And then we got the Green Avenue campus in Lansdowne for 11th and 12th. I was in 11th, so I was going to Green Avenue. However, now they're having the Green Avenue students going over to Cypress Street. And the way they had that set, because Cypress is a little smaller than Green Avenue, otherwise, if the roles were reversed and Cypress was on fire, they would send everybody from there over there, no problem, and not cut off any time from anybody, because the school was just that big to hold that many people. However, Cypress Street isn't. So what they decided to do was pretty much give everybody half days. They had the ninth and 10th graders come in a lot earlier, so like 6 o'clock in the morning, start their day with less time on all 8 periods, and end school at 11. Then the Green Avenue campus, us, we would come in about 11:30 and not get out of school until 4 when we usually get out at 2. So that's how they had that set, and we've been trying to deal and trying to adjust to that situation. Now, typically when I get out of school, I usually go to the library. And so I ended up going to the library over there in Yaden, which wasn't going to be any different because I did that when I was attending Cypress Street campus. So I went to the library. I went on the computer. I'm not gonna lie, I was playing video games. I wasn't doing any type of schoolwork whatsoever. Um, I was playing games, and then I casually looked up to see who was coming in, and I seen my principal from my school come in with a detective, and I was just like, damn, I wonder what's going on. And they stopped at the librarian, and I couldn't hear what they were saying because I had headphones on. I was just like, I didn't really pay no mind for like a little bit, but then I glanced back up, and I seen the library pointing in my direction for them, and I'm just like, oh god. And then they started walking this way towards me. So I was just like, I look to my left and my right, and I see a lot of these people like here, pretty much doing the same thing I'm doing, and I'm just like, damn, I will feel bad for whatever poor sucker they're here for. And that right there is where I should have kept my mouth shut because they stopped literally right behind me. So my principal tapped on my shoulder. I took my headphones off to look up at them, and the detective was just like, said my name. He was like, Tyree Harris. I was like, yeah. He was like, you need to come with me. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? So I mean, I didn't really question. I didn't try to make a scene or anything. I was just, I was being cooperative. I'm pretty sure he was gonna tell me exactly what was going on whenever whenever he took me to wherever he wants to take me. So I ended up getting in the car. We ended up going to the police station, and he had me sit in his interrogation room for about like 5 minutes or so before he came in with a file that had my name on it and everything. And so once he sat down, he finally explained, pretty much said exactly why I was there for. And I don't remember the conversation word for word, but he basically was like, "You are aware of the fire that happened on, so such and such day," because I don't remember the day. But I was just like, "Yeah, I'm pretty aware of it. That's why I had to go to school somewhere else." And it was like, "Okay, well, we have video surveillance of the person that set the school on fire." And I'm like, "Okay." So he showed me the footage, and I'm like, "Okay, what does this got to do with me?" The detective said that he went around and asked some of my classmates, and he also asked some of the teachers if they could identify the person, and they all said it was me. And that's when I was just like in complete shock, and I was just like, that doesn't. I was just like, what the hell? That doesn't even look like me. In fact, the picture, the footage was so beyond blurry that you couldn't really tell who that person was. The only thing you could tell was that person was a black male. He was wearing a green band hoodie just like mine, and he came up on a mountain bike. Which that right there should have been the first X right there, because I don't ride mountain bikes. I don't. It's not that I don't favor them. It's just that I have a longboard, so I have no reason to have a mountain bike, right? Plus, I didn't really know how to ride a mountain bike back then. I still don't now, but I didn't know how to ride a mountain bike back then, so that should have been like the first X right there. But they still kept me to interrogate me more, and they kept asking me the same question over and over again. I ended up taking a lie detector test in which I failed the polygraph, and but now I know that sounds bad when I tell you I failed the polygraph. That means I've been lying on every question, right? Wrong, because I was telling the truth on every question, and this is how they knew the polygraph was a little fucked, because usually when you have to take a lie detector test, they usually test they usually test it out to make sure it's working correctly. And the way they do that is they're gonna ask you the most obvious question ever to where you could not lie on it. Like the first question has to absolutely be the truth, right? So they'll ask you questions like very simple questions like based on your appearance. Like if you're wearing jewelry, they're gonna ask you things like, are you wearing a bracelet on your right wrist? And obviously you have to say yes because you are. And if that comes out as true, then that means the polygraph is working correctly. That's how they test it. So the most obvious question they asked me was, "Are you sitting in a chair right now?" And I said yes because I was, and that came out to be a lie. And they was really confused and didn't know what was going on. But my sister kind of explained it to me later and told me it was because my nerves were so beyond shooken up because I was so scared that my nerves were throwing the polygraph off and making it seem like I was lying on every question being asked. And that's why I failed. And which it is true. That does happen. But after many more days and many more weeks of them investigating and interrogating me, questioning my friends, and they even took my hoodie to try to find smoke samples. They finally came back to me. They didn't give me my hoodie back, and I'm still a little pissed off about that because I actually like that band hoodie. But they came back to me finally, and it was just like, all right, so we can't really find any type of evidence on you that connects you to this crime. However, we still think you're involved. And I was just like, all right, cool, great. So after that, trying to go back to school normally was a little difficult because people were treating me like a criminal because it was very evident that I was getting blamed for it by the number of times I got picked up in front of the school, in front of the entire student body, and the amount of times my friends were being questioned about me. They made it really they made it really hard for me to live a normal life after that because then people were starting to distance themselves from me. Normally, the people that I normally talk to didn't want to talk to me anymore. They always tried to come up with some sort of excuse to why they couldn't sit with me at lunch or shit like that. And even some of my teachers were treating me a little different. There was one teacher who literally wouldn't really write me up for much of anything, even if I did something wrong. And now all of a sudden she's giving write-ups after write-ups after write-ups, and I'm getting suspended left and right. and it just felt very uncomfortable to me, almost to the point where I basically dropped out. I dropped out of school, and then that's when my sister also kicked me out of the house. Um, Granted, I still love her. I still love her. Me and her, we still talk even after that because she sees that I'm doing somewhat well for myself. Well, I was, but we can talk about that later. Um, I ended up going to a homeless shelter for a couple months, and they was trying to help me find a job. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find one because everyone's asking for experience, in which I don't have. The only experience I had was volunteering for the youth garden in the farmers market. That was about it. But other than that, I had no prior experience with anything. Next thing I know, I end up going to this career link thing, and it was talking about Job Corps, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to maybe go because it was talking about me getting a GED, so I can still finish school, I can get my driver's license, and I can also get a trade. And I thought those three things were pretty important. And I thought maybe with whatever trade I'm getting, I could possibly get a job in it, and then I can also find housing and shit like that. So that's why I decided to leave Philadelphia. I decided to leave Philadelphia to go into the Job Corps program, which, by the way, sucked. It tanked. It was probably my worst decision I've ever made. Honestly, it was. Nah, actually, not even probably. It was. It was the worst decision I've ever made in history. And so after completing the first Job Corps campus in Drums, PA, um, uh, I I didn't know what else to do because I forgot about the fact that they're gonna kick me out the campus and send me back home, but I'm not gonna have anywhere to go to. And so then they explained to me that there's another program that I can take, the advanced program, in which that's what sent me up here to Pittsburgh. And I had to take the advanced program for a different trade, and that's what I decided to do. And I prolonged staying on campus for another 6 months. So in total, I've been attending Job Corps for a year and 8 months. A year and 2 months at Keystone Job Corps in Drums, PA, and then another 6 months up here at Pittsburgh Job Corps. Unfortunately, after I graduated from there, I didn't have much time to find a job or find housing. I had to do something quick. Um, Otherwise, I was just going to be out on the street. And I couldn't find anything back home, but luckily I found a room for like $400 a month over here. And that's ultimately how I ended up stuck here. And then from then on, it was just dead end job after dead end job after dead end job. Me not making enough money for me to possibly move out or find anything better. And the rest is kind of history because you kind of know everything from that point on. Because I made my YouTube channel while I was at Pittsburgh Job Corps, and I pretty much vlogged everything that was going on with me. So, honestly, the rest, I could say the rest is history, but honestly, the rest is literally in the beginning of my YouTube channel. So, if you want to know the rest from there, just go all the way to the beginning. So that is pretty much the story of how I almost got arrested and why I left Philadelphia. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Leave some comments, leave some likes. By the way, you don't have to feel bad for me. By the way, don't leave me any comments saying, "Oh my God, don't I feel bad for you. I'm sorry that happened to you." Honestly, looking back at it now, all I can do is really just sit here and laugh about it because I think it was pretty funny how all that happened. It took all of that to happen to me for me to get to the point that I am now, and honestly, I couldn't be more happier. Like I'm gonna just be real. I couldn't be more happier. If I wasn't being framed for that school being on fire, and if I didn't make the choice to go into Job Corps, I don't know what I'd be doing right about now. Like honestly, I really don't know where I would be at or what I'd be doing with my life. I probably wouldn't even be doing YouTube. I'd probably be doing something that my family would have wanted me to do. I know they were very keen on me doing like sports and stuff because my brother was an athlete and my nephew was also an athlete. Um, my nephew pretty much played football and my brother did football, basketball, and every other sport under the sun. Um, so I'm pretty sure I probably would have been doing that. But I'm so happy that I'm not doing that and I'm doing YouTube full time. Well, not full time, but I'm happy to be a YouTuber, basically. So, like I said, likes, comment, Like, comment, favorite, share, and hit subscribe if you're new and all that good stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying the last month of the year, last month of 2021. Let me know in the comments down below what you're gonna do. What are you gonna do to prepare for the end of the year? The end of the year. I'm sorry. What are you gonna do to prepare for the end of the year? And what are you gonna do in the beginning of next year? Let me know in the comments down below. I always read all the comments. So, with that being said, enjoy your holiday. I have one more video coming out for you guys in the next 7 days, so be on the lookout for that. And until my next video, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Take care. Laters.